how good is Carlos Bronco Adames after his impressive, hard-fought victory over Julian Jrock Williams, 9th-round stoppage? A lot of people may feel that the stoppage was pretty bad, right? Julian Williams was, in my opinion, well into that fight. And the referee kind of just decided to pull the plug on it. He pulled the plug on the fight. And, he threw a punch, but then he ends up stopping the fight. So, it just doesn't look right, And it leaves the question, how good is Carlos Adames? Because going into that fight, Julian Jrock Williams was a fighter that many felt stood no chance against the modern-day Clubber Lang, Carlos Adames, right? They say he's the most feared man in boxing right now. There's this new storyline, this new narrative behind Carlos Adames that may stick with him, that he's the most feared guy in the middleweight division. But Julian Jrock Williams showed no fear last night against Carlos Clubber Lang Adames. And Julian Williams really put up a very spirited performance against a guy that he was supposed to lose against, right? He wasn't supposed to even last 9 rounds. And some may say the referee took it away from him. Julian Williams showed up in shape. Some may say his punch resistance is a lot better at 160 pounds. And yeah, man, it was a really, really good fight from both men, if you ask me. But Carlos Adames, how good is he really? A lot of us may have seen the sparring footage years ago of him and Terrence Crawford years ago, right? Back when Crawford was sparring Carlos Adames, and I believe it was somebody else. He sparred 2 guys at Gleason's gym some time ago, and Carlos Adames was one of these guys. And Carlos Adames said Crawford was one of the best guys he's been in there with. So, Carlos Adames has came a long way since back then. He's hitting hard. He's switch hitting. But I still question, how good is he really? The middleweight division is kind of open season right now. It's not too much action right now, especially with the WBC champion Jermall Charlo on the sidelines. It's looking like he's going to be fighting Canelo Alvarez. Carlos Adames, it's a good question because watching the fight last night, Carlos Adames is an action fighter, right? But there's some things that I've seen that I feel like a guy with some good foot speed, some good hand speed, some grit, maybe a younger guy, not necessarily knowing how to be younger than Adames, but less wear and tear than a guy like Jrock. Adames probably would have had a lot of trouble last night. He probably would have had a lot of trouble in his fight against that particular fighter, right? That's just my opinion based off the style that I've seen. Julian Williams was really crafty in there, and he gave him some trouble and gave him a really, really good fight. But Carlos Adames, is he the most feared man in the middleweight division? Is he the boogeyman in the middleweight division? I remember we had a boogeyman some years ago by the name of Gennady Golovkin in the middleweight division. Now we have a Dominican boogeyman by the name of Carlos Adames, who, to me, he's the modern day. He's like a Clubber Lang. So yeah, I like Carlos Adames, El Bronco. I like the way they're pushing him with this. He's the boogeyman. He's the most feared man in the middleweight division. That can really kind of help get his name out there. Working on his English was also help. I saw he spoke a little bit of English in his post-fight reaction. Really exciting fighter, man. Really, really a fighter can only get better from here on out. Only 29 years old. Will Jermall Charlo fight Carlos Adames, right? Could Carlos Adames, a Carlos Adames with this type of momentum, who just went through a tough fight with a former unified champion and Julian Jrock Williams, is he ready for Jermall Charlo, who's been on the sidelines for quite some time? So yeah, man, Carlos Adames is a new player in the middleweight division. He's here. He's waiting for his shot, really. He's just waiting for his full WBC title shot. WBC is gonna do right by Jermall Charlo and give him the time that he needs. And it's looking like he's gonna be fighting Canelo Alvarez in September, so we'll see what happens with that. But as far as Carlos Adames, I'm asking you guys the question: how good is he really? Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.